Hi everyone! If you're someone who loves fragrance but you don't like the hefty price tags that come along with it, guess what? You found your channel. I'm a fragrance lover who couldn't justify the rising cost of perfume anymore, so I set out to find a better way. What makes this channel different? Everything here I share is carefully curated. There's no random hauls, there's no hype, there's no marketing, there's no advertising. It's just my thoughtful, tested recommendations that deliver on scent, quality, and value. Around here, it's all about the fragrances that smell expensive, last longer, and don't leave you with buyer's remorse. So if that sounds like your thing, hit that like button, join this tribe, grab your iced coffee, and sip away because I've got the fragrance gems that you need to know about. So let's jump right in. Sure, Labor Day just passed, and Starbucks is peddling pumpkin spice lattes like they're going out of style. But let's get one thing straight. Summer is not over until we say it's over. So whether you're clinging to your beach towel like it's a lifeline, or you're just not ready for that autumn vibe, I've got all the fragrances that keep the vacay feels going on strong throughout the summer to get you into the fall, or whatever season suits you. Here's your scented survival kit for dodging autumn, one spritz at a time. Okay, so coming in at my number 5 spot, we have Paris Corners Indomitable. Oh, Clinique Happy. Such trash. If only you could make me this happy, and if only your cap could stay on. Let's just say that Indomitable is what I wish this would be when it grew up. So let's go back a moment. When this first came on the scene, it was the early 2000s, Legally Blonde was the thing, and this was Elle Woods' fragrance of choice for getting ready for those sorority shindigs. However, although it is a bright pocket full of sunshine, in terms of performance, in terms of, value, and also in terms of overall uniqueness, this perfume does not remotely deliver. It's fun, I don't hate it, but I definitely don't love its price tag. At $100 now for 3.4 ounces, Clinique, you just fail to make me happy. I'm done. I've used up a substantial portion of this juice, and in truth, I will be honest, full disclaimer, I did not pay $100 for this 3.4 ounce bottle. I did buy it at Nordstrom Rack, and it was substantially cheaper, but when going online and doing my search, this is what that is now going for. 3.4 ounces for roughly $100 just gets you nowhere. It doesn't deliver, it doesn't last, and really, there's nothing unique about it to even rise to the level of the price that they're charging for this. And quality-wise, meh. I just dropped the cap, it doesn't seem to stay on. And I also find that this perfume, over time, unlike many others, does go stale. It does get a little bit of a weird funk to it, and it just, who needs this? So, back to this baby. This bottle is absolutely adorable. When I think of this bottle, I look at it, I'm like, VW Bugs, Summer of Woodstock, Summer of Love vibes. It's just fun. It's just, first of all, it's quite hefty. And second of all, even look at the cap. The attention to detail is just there. It's just a fun, nice bottle of perfume. And I think I paid somewhere around $45 for this on Amazon. And I will tell you, when comparing these two fragrances, there is no comparison. This is such a more complicated, thoughtfully layered fragrance. Just spritzing it. Upon first sniff, it opens with this beautiful, juicy orange vibe, a fresh, photorealistic, freshly peeled Florida orange. When I smell this, to me, this takes me back to driving through Bradenton, Florida, where that's Tropicana groves, windows down, and just the air beautifully scented with this just fresh orange yumminess. That's what this perfume is at the beginning. And then over time, it evolves. And these notes of they say the middle notes are apple and black pepper and some woody notes. That's not really what I'm getting. Maybe the apple supports the citrus and brightens it up. I don't really get the black pepper. I don't get the woody. What I do get is the base notes of this white musk, neroli, and amber, which kind of like round out the citrus vibe of it and just elevate it and make it this really elegant, beautiful perfume that you don't expect in a $45 bottle of perfume that you order on Amazon. It's just, there is something about this that you can just envision walking past someone and just inhaling it and just being like, wow, it's clean, it's bright, it's just sunshine in a bottle. And guess what? I'm here for it. $45, like, guys, this is a steal. This is an absolute steal. You will not regret it. And it could be worn day, it could be worn night. And the truth is that in the right climate, in the right environment, this isn't like, you don't have to cut this off at fall. Like, this could be worn year round. It has this, really, I'm smelling it still. It comes in and it just eloquently balances in such a sophisticated way you would never find in the Clinique Happy. And for that reason, hands down, get yourself a bottle of this. Enough said. Okay, guys, coming in at my number 4 slot is Quiet Al Fursan by Lattafa. Actually, correct. It is Quiet Al Fursan Unlimited by Lattafa. Now, this fragrance is very unique to me because when I first purchased it, I just thought, first of all, I'll start out with the price tag. This was $14.99 on Amazon. I want you guys to take a pause and take that all in. Like, look at the bottle. It is a really pretty, elegant white glass bottle. It's quite nice. It's got a nice weight to it. And it's got one of my faves, which is the magnetic cap. I love a good magnetic cap because then I don't have to worry, just like my Clinique Happy, about cap flying off and landing on the floor. I will say that, yes, it does have a little dent. That's my fault, my bad. I had body lotion on and I dropped it. And it, surprisingly, the bottle held up and didn't shatter into a million pieces. But that being said, when I first read the notes of this bottle, I was just thinking like fun, summer, coconutty vibe. Like, wasn't really expecting that much of it. I mean, I was kind of putting it on par with like what one would expect from like a body mist. And a cheap body mist at that. Like, I really just thought it was like a lovely light coconut scent. Well, boy, was I wrong. This perfume, to me, has such a complexity that you almost feel like when you spray it, you're walking into the lobby of like a high-end luxury boutique hotel in Miami. And it's like, after a day spent at the beach and you're hot and you're covered in sunscreen and sand and you just want to like go and shower, you're hit by this blast of this like luxury infused, air-conditioned scent that just kind of envelops you and you're like, wow, this lobby smells amazing. That, my friends, is this. Like, do not read this as just your basic coconut scent. Yes, the coconut is present. Yes, for its spray, you are hit with the coconut. But this isn't like this cheesy, sunscreeny coconut. No. This is a light and airy, beautifully blended coconut balanced by these kind of vanillic sandalwood notes. And when it all comes together, I would never describe this as a gourmand. I would say this is just like this clean, refreshing, breezy, airy scent with performance. Like, this fragrance delivers. For the price point, I find I get like 4 to 5 hours out of it before having ever to reapply. And that's pretty good considering, I mean, I live in a very hot climate. I'm in and out, running around all day long. This stuff is like no joke. Highly recommend. And from my understanding, and I'm just checking my notes really quickly because I wrote this down, it is an actual almost 1-to-1 for Mancera's Cocoa Vanille, which I think is at least anywhere from $99 to $200 right now, depending upon which site you check. So for $14.99 a bottle, to me, hands down, you are getting like a banger performance scent at like pennies. It's really that good and highly, highly recommend. So that is Quiet Alforsan Unlimited by Le Talfo. Okay. Coming at my number 3. Again, I picked a coconut scent, but again, this is not about the coconut. Coconut is just a supporting actor in this role. This, guys, is French Avenue's Veneno Blanco. Now, look, I didn't have like amazing expectations for this perfume. I'll be very, very honest. This is known to be or considered to be inspired by Kilian's Sun-Kissed Goddess. Now, I've smelled Kilian's Sun-Kissed Goddess in the store, and I will say that like for $300 a bottle, like they've got some nerve. I was not impressed. To me, and I'll do this in a whole other video and we'll discuss like the solar coconuts and those type of fragrances. To me, for that price, I wanted performance. I wanted something unique and inspired. This to me was like very derivative of Tom Ford Soleil Blanc, which to me is also a little bit derivative. So I didn't really have great expectations when I got this. Don't get me wrong, I liked the fragrance. I hated the price tag, and there was no way I was spending money on a fragrance like that. So when I saw this baby for $25, I was like, you know what? For that price point, I'm gonna give it a look-see. So it arrived in the mail, and initially I saw this bottle. Now, like the serpent thing with the perfume bottles, the Middle Eastern fragrances definitely gets a very mixed opinion. To me, like, I care less. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a good bottle. I care less about the bottle and more about the juice in the bottle. Like, that to me, the value is not in the bottle. I am not a perfume bottle collector. I like a scent that delivers, that I can store easily, which this is, by the way. It's very thin, it's tall, it's nice, and I don't have that much space for which to store my perfumes. So like for me, this is good. I'm good with this. I don't need like a big elaborate bottle that's gonna take up shelf space and detract from my other fragrances, because you know, whatever I have in my collection is limited to a space and it's just not gonna be allocated to bottles. That being said, listen, for the price, this isn't a bad bottle. I don't hate it. I mean, I'm not into like serpents on a fragrance necessarily, but like, I'll live with it. What I don't like is the plastic cap. But again, for $25 a bottle, like, can I really complain? What I'm going to say about this perfume is, wow. Just wow. I did not expect this fragrance to be as amazing as it was. To me, this does what I would have wanted Sun-Kissed Goddess to do, and it just failed to do. There is a beautiful coconut opening to this fragrance, and I'm gonna read to you the notes very quickly. I have in my notes. It starts out with the top notes of, sorry, let me just grab my drink. Neroli, bergamot, and mint, and the middle is tiara flower, white florals, and ylang ylang. And the base note is coconut, vanilla, gaiac wood, and labdanum. Now this is what I'm gonna say. When you first spray this on, as I just did, the first thing that hits me is not a coconut. Rather, it's a tiara flower and the white florals. And I have to say, it is beautiful. What's interesting to me about it is that the milk, you really get like this lactonic quality underneath it. I would never have put it at a top note, supported by this coconut. So this is not a coconut forward fragrance. It is a very tropical floral fragrance that is then supported by the coconut and the lactonic notes. So whereas this is where this gets interesting. This to me is like you're walking into a beautiful air-conditioned lobby, and this is like the soft supporting fragrance that they infuse into the air to create that overall sense of luxury. This to me, interestingly enough, is that, but let's say the same lobby had these like beautiful tropical floral arrangements that were just emitting this beautiful aroma and perfume from those flowers. So it's like this fragrance, but like put over the edge with these beautiful florals underneath. Now when I talk about the florals, don't get me wrong, like this is not like this floral heavy, choke you out old lady scent. It is a beautiful lactonic, coconutty, but not like choking coconutty. It's just a very airy coconutty scent where these florals come in and just kind of add this extra layer of like luxury and eloquence. And it just gives you this overall like sun-kissed type of warmth that you would want from Kilian Sun-Kissed Goddess, but that perfume fails to deliver on. So this is the interesting point about Kilian. I sprayed that perfume on myself in Sephora, and I will say to you without fail, from the back of the store to the front of the store, I maybe spent 5 other minutes in the store between spraying that fragrance on myself and leaving. I didn't really smell anything. Like, I was really shocked at how weak the performance was on that perfume and how underwhelming I was. I was really excited to smell it. Not that I thought I was like ever spending that amount of money on a perfume, but it just sounded interesting to me. It sounded like my kind of thing, but it was just so disappointing. And I feel like that way with so many of the fragrances these days. Like, you go into a store, there's like all this hype, and you're like, oh, I gotta get in there, I gotta smell it. And you smell it, and it's either like the same DNA as something else, or alternatively, like the performance is so weak, you're just like, how are they getting away with literally duping people, like convincing people to buy based on their packaging and like these notes that just don't perform. So that's kind of where I was with this. And I have to say, like, for the price point, you guys, you cannot go wrong with this. If you were looking for just a luxurious, like, get me through the end of summer, Indian summer fragrance where you're just like going into October but still keeping along those, you know, endless summer vibes, this is it. Like, you will not be disappointed at all, hands down. Okay then, so those are my 3 that go, you know, that kind of play on the foodie theme. Now, in my number 2 spot is Erin Lilac Path. Now here's the thing, guys. There is no way in life I would ever spend on a perfume like this. How this came to be was a function of me getting a rebate back from my contact lens provider and a Sephora VIP sale. So between the 20% off and the rebate, which I felt like was found money, even though it really wasn't, this was a splurge. And here's the thing. There is something so beautiful and nostalgic about this fragrance to me. You know, plus the bottle is gorgeous, and I will give it to them there. Like, Erin, hands down, always delivers. They all have like this beautiful gem kind of situation going on where you're just kind of like, it's got a Jo Malone feel, like, and it's very basic glass, but this just kind of like gives it an elevated sense of luxury. But here's the thing. For me, this was about pure nostalgia. A lot of people smell lilac and they're like, old lady. That's not where this is to me. To me, if you were from the Northeast, if you were from, you know, parts of Long Island and this and that, this is like Mother's Day through Memorial Day in a bottle. Like, up north where the air is like perfumes with this beautiful lilac, that time of year, that to me is what this smells like, or is trying to capture. And I actually did some deep digging and tried to figure out like, what was the inspiration for this? And as it turns out, Erin actually decided or was inspired to make this fragrance by spending summers at her grandma Estie's cottage in the Hamptons, and they had lilac bushes, and this is what, the air was fragranced with. And to me, that is this in a bottle, pure nostalgia. However, this scent, from the time I spray it in my bathroom to the time I walk out of my bathroom, is gone. Completely gone. Like it's a joke. It really is a joke. Like, talk about buyer's remorse and purchase disappointment. That's the Erin fragrances. They are beautiful. You smell them in the store, you're like, oh, this is unique. This is lovely. I don't see other fragrance companies even coming out with stuff like this. However, that's not true, and we'll get into that in another episode about kind of comparing the Erin fragrances with some Tom Ford fragrances, because they are both of the Estee Lauder company. But to me, sorry, there's a leaf blower. To me, this is just disappointment. Like, a fragrance shouldn't last, especially at this price, or any price really for that matter. Like, when we're honest with ourselves, if you were spending money on a fragrance, you should get at least a few hours out of it. This does nothing. Literally, the second you leave your space and you hit air, it is gone. And I'm upset with myself over this purchase. I said to myself, there has to be a way to either enhance the longevity of this or do something so I don't feel like the Emperor's New Clothes, like I'm spraying myself with perfume and there's nothing there. So, after a lot of thinking, it occurred to me, this is effectively this, Bath & Body Works Fresh Cut Lilac. And how did I know this? Because I think every May, roughly, Bath & Body Works releases this. This is like one of their classic scents. And I happened to be in a Bath & Body Works at that time that was carrying it. A lot of times, you can only get this online. And I said to myself, that's really weird. I think this is lilac bath. And I came home and I literally tested them next to each other. And really, this is like as one-to-one as if you were going for the nostalgia and for this scent, this is as one-to-one as you're gonna get. And I found that by layering the body lotion of Fresh Cut Lilacs and using this, and please don't hold it against me, this is a spot for no judgments, I have no problem spraying my hair with this stuff. I use body mist in my hair all the time, and I know people are, oh, it's drying, how could you do this, you're ruining your hair. Not only do I do that, if there is a complimentary body wash, I have been known to wash my hair with said body wash just to enhance the fragrance even further. And then I just use like a fragrance-free conditioner so that fragrance really travels with me. And that's just my thing. So do as you wish with that, but I find for me it's successful. I like it. So in any event, this scent will do the job of this. And all you need to know is start checking their website. I don't know, end of April, beginning of May. As soon as, they go through their Easter cycle with fragrances, they get into their Mother's Day thing. You could find this online. I think they do their buy 3, get 1 free. No brainer. You will not be disappointed. And you will get to capture the essence of what this tried to do, but just failed to deliver on. And that's my tidbit on that. All right, guys. So, let's take one more sip. Okay then, so coming in at my number 1 fragrance, which is not here and present, and I'll explain why, is Byredo Blanche. Byredo Blanche to me is the quintessential summer, clean girl, whatever you want to call it, fragrance. To me, it's like you took Nivea original cream in a bottle and you made it a fragrance. So much so that when Nivea actually came out with their own perfume, it didn't even smell nearly as good as Byredo Blanche in that sense. It didn't deliver in that way. However, we all know, number one, Byredo Blanche, very expensive. I mean, I've been following it online. I think Joma's shop had it on sale. The closest I've ever gotten to even getting anything close to a 3.4 ounce was in excess of $200. I've never spent money on it. I have had samples of it, and that is why I can tell you with certainty that the two clones that I am about to show you are as close to possible as you're gonna get. And at the price points, to me, hands down no-brainers. So the number one clone that I've been using, and I'm obsessed with, I mean, this is probably easily my fourth bottle of this that I've been through, is Alt Fragrances White. Alt Fragrances White is just beautiful, one-to-one, clean. I get 5 hours out of this easily. If I like do the back of my neck, get some in my hair, I mean, I could probably get through the entire day with a few spritzes of this. And I think it's $49 for the 2 ounces, but that's assuming you don't get it on sale. And the reality is, just like the next clone I'm about to talk about is they're always running a sale. Whether it's 10% off for joining, 15% off, for writing a review or whatever it is, or 20% off because it's Labor Day weekend. There are always deals to be found on the All Fragrance site. And you will not be disappointed. I mean, I go there often and they have so many beautiful clones. Some of them are total hits. Some of them are like, okay, but you're not gonna walk away and just be like, oh, that doesn't even smell like the original. It's not even close. They are definitely very, very good at recreating the high-end fragrances for a fraction of the cost. Which also brings me to the second company I'm talking about, which is Dossier. And this is their version of Byredo Blanche. And it is called Musky Aldehyde. Sorry. I will say the following. When push comes to shove, if I had to pick between one or the other, definitely hands down All Fragrances. This has far more staying power, although this delivers beautifully too. So really, either way, you can't go wrong. And honestly, it just may come down to which has the better sale, which is kind of how I came about it. I was like, initially, I think I wound up with musky aldehydes. And I was like, this is really good, but I feel like the performance could be a little longer. For the price point, I was fine. It has my awesome magnetic cap. I could throw this in my bag and reapply throughout the day. But I happened to be in the mall at an alt store and tested this. And I was like, wow, this really, I put this on, I wore this through the rest of the evening and it lasted. And I was so impressed by it. I'm like, you know what? For the price point, I think the next time they were having a sale, I think maybe over July 4th weekend, I picked this one up and I don't regret it. So those are my number ones. And I have to say, of all the 5 that I captured, all of these scents lend themselves to a versatility that can be used throughout the year. So don't feel that by purchasing any one of these that you're strictly investing in, 10 weeks out of your year. All these fragrances will work throughout the year depending upon the mood in which you're wearing it, and none of them disappoint. So if you like our content and you want to see more of it, feel free to like, and until then, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.